Hello everyone and welcome in Let's Connect with Prerna. Good morning. I wish you all a very happy Holi and very colorful Holi. I'm inviting my today's guest, Ms.Nita Arora. She's principal of Shree Venkateshwara International School, New Delhi, and she will be with us in some time. Okay.
Hi, Prerna.
Hi. Good morning, ma'am.
Very good morning. What a lovely day to be seeing a brightful, colorful, smiling girl, unholy. It makes me feel that everything is right in the world. People are happy, colorful, cheerful. Happy Holi, first of all, to you
Yeah.
as well as all our viewers.
Thank you so much, Nita ma'am. I wish you a very happy Holi. So, should we start with our
Yes,
questions?
please.
Okay. Ma'am, my first question to you is that now that schools have reopened, what kind of changes you have noticed among students when they have started attending the classes again?
I'll start with the youngest age group.
Yeah.
Earlier, when we used to see children would automatically try to come and hug you. And this time, when I tried to hug a child from the back, I felt the child shudder a little. One kid. Because the kid must have been told, stay away from people, don't let anybody touch you, don't touch. And the mother was with the kid, and I said, your child is scared. And I am also scared of hugging him, tight. But at least from the back, I want to feel this child. And I want him to feel that he's loved in his own school, his principal loves him, and his teachers love him. But there were some other kids who were very happy. I asked one kid, he said, you need a hug? And he came running. And some kids were wearing masks, some, the younger ones, especially preschool, pre-primary, some of them were not wearing. I asked them, who am I? So some of them remember that I am the principal because they haven't been to a school for last 2 years. They just came on 2 days in November 28th and 29th, and then the schools reclosed. So the children are very happy, those who are coming. We have about 60% attendance in junior classes, and I see them trying to, adjust so beautifully. There is nothing like the first day glitch of a child crying. They are very excited, and the parents are super excited. More than the kids, I see the parents very happy and relieved. And then we talk about 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. They came for offline studies as well as exams. And the first thing you notice when you see guys is a long hair. I mean, they have all grown longer hair, and we are not taking them much these days. We said, okay, fine, till March, you may support whatever hairstyle you're liking, but from April, you will shift to the uniform kind of hairstyle.
Yeah.
Because suddenly you tell a teenager that you cut your hair because you're coming to school, the child will probably hate coming to school. We don't want that to happen.
Right.
So my reaction to a child with lovely grown up or a ponytail also. My head boy is supporting a ponytail. He said, ma'am, let me for a few days. I said, all right, for a few days. But when the practical exams begin, please do cut your ponytail because I'm okay with it. But the examiner may not be, and she may not give you the marks that you deserve because she's put off. Maybe she's an old school principal or teacher. And those who have, some kids really look nice with long hair. So I tell them, you look so good. I really love this new look. But when the school reopens in April, we'll all go back to the old ways. So the children feel happy that the adults are not judgmental. They're not, because you have to really understand the psyche at this stage. These adolescents have not been, they haven't allowed anyone to check them. I'm so sorry to add this, but this is a fact. They haven't allowed their parents to check them in the last 2 years because they wanted their independence and there were no friends, no teachers, and they were probably connected to social media and they were getting all sort of, I would say, support for whatever idiosyncrasies they might have. And suddenly, when we start acting like a controlling adult, they may stop liking the idea of coming to school. So, first of all, we have to make this child feel respected, loved, liked for whatever he is. It's not about what the version that I want to see you in. It's not my version of a ideal school child or the parents' version of an ideal daughter or a son. It is about what the child is currently comfortable in. So, we took care of the mental health, made them feel welcome, made them feel loved. And we told them if you do not know something, it really doesn't matter. We don't expect you to know everything. And we are here to help you. Boards have shifted your theory exams, so we're there for you. 1 week gap between the exams, we're there for you. Don't worry, even if your marks in boards are not that great as you wanted them to be. So the kids are coming to terms, and there are kids you'll be surprised there is no difference in them. I mean, they've adjusted so beautifully. I mean, on the surface, getting the same scores, so focused. I mean, those were the kids who were not into many distractions. Those who got distracted are finding this kind of regime a little difficult.
Difficult.
It was fine. We had to check their bags yesterday. We found about 11, 12 color packets, some more extra bottles, and we told the children why we're doing it.
Yeah.
So they understood. And
Yeah.
we also said, from here, you'll straight away go to school. Home, you will not go to any mall or any other eating joint. You go out in the evening or tomorrow, but from school. That's my biggest worry. Because
Yeah.
in March, we're not giving school buses and the children are traveling on their own. I don't want them to just go to a mall or a cafe or any other place after school.
Right. Right.
Because till then, earlier, we could manage that. And there are a few kids who are, as like you are into guiding children, counseling children. So there are a few kids who have some psychological issues and they share it with
Yeah.
the counselor. And the counselor is helping, the teachers are helping. And we have to be very careful when a child doesn't score. I have noticed one kid saw the paper and he
Yeah.
wanted to ask his friend and the teacher checked him. So he said, would you not allow your own son to cheat when supposing he didn't know?
Oh God.
I mean, that was just a reaction, and I
Yeah.
immediately apologized. She said, yes, I would check my own son too for doing this. But we asked him to come and sit in the library because getting agitated. And then I
Yeah.
went to him and said, Yashwardhan, if you need any help, supposing you haven't prepared for this paper, but you want to do well in this paper, you've done very well. I saw your marks in other two subjects when I came here. You scored 37 out of 14, 1, 38 out of 14, 1. So are you worried if you don't do well in this particular paper, your parents are going to be hugely unhappy? He said, yes, he
Right.
was a great child. So I said, if you are doing it for your parents, I respect that sentiment too. I will give you another test in case you don't score well in this, so that we tell your parents the correct marks, the good marks. He was
Right.
immediately
Right.
calmed down and he said, oh, ma'am, I think I can attempt it. And he attempted the paper. And when he came back to me, he said, ma'am, I don't require a retest. I think I've done reasonably all right. It's just that that moment when he saw the paper, he thought he didn't know and he wanted to confirm from a friend and the teacher checked. Double pressure on him.
Yeah.
Right to cheat,
Yeah.
caught cheating. And the pressure of if I don't score, what will my father say or mother say?
True.
So
So
if you
true.
remove all those pressures as well as, little, what do you say? I mean, that desire that I can use unfair means. I think
Right.
if you tell the children that with even with correct values you can succeed in life, I mean, a lot of people
True.
do, a lot of children do.
True.
Things
So
become
true.
fine.
So true. Nita ma'am, my second question to you, like, what are the challenges, if we talk about the teachers and the institutions have faced to get back to this, pre-COVID, pre-lockdown normalcy?
The biggest challenge had been to keep everybody sane and happy. People to not lose hope, people to continue to love living life as they were. And, this has also taught you that you require a hobby to keep
Right.
engaged with yourself. You should not only be dependent on other people for the happiness in your life, you should also learn to enjoy yourself, like yourself, love yourself, and enjoy your own company. And if you have even one person to share your life with, be very grateful.
So true.
And that person can also be your strength as well as mentor, and you can share your thoughts. At least try to have one or two people in whom you can confide and share your life with, and the best people are your parents
So
or your
true.
spouse. I mean, for my case, my spouse. Or you have one or two real good friends or siblings or cousins whom you totally trust, and your parents also trust, because sometimes our judgment as a child may not be right and we trust the wrong person. So
Yeah.
if you feel that that person is trustworthy, then don't let that friendship go. And but at the same time, do not do things which your heart says is wrong. Because that friend or a person is saying, उसने बोला चल भाग के मूवी देखते हैं तो हम चल पड़े. वो नहीं होना चाहिए. You should
नहीं
use your
होना
own
चाहिए.
judgment. And so I would say, and then learn to play some indoor games. Learn
Yeah.
reading, playing music, or even listening to music is such a stress buster.
I
Even
know.
in
Yeah.
pandemic, if you keep yourself fit and I mean, people never prevented you from going out in your locality or to take a walk or to do a jog. So if you are keeping yourself fit, enjoying eating light food and have some hobby, I think it wasn't so bad as a pandemic. And work from home option was always open for all of us, and we enjoyed connecting. My biggest fear was the children. I'm not talking about just my school. I'm talking about children who had no access to any formal education, and there is a huge learning gap. And sometimes device in hand, which is I mean, where the child can go to any site, got distracted big way. And 2 years gap is a big gap. And now we are just going to keep on promoting them. They come to two classes higher than what their past level was. The past level
Right.
is wasn't very great. So that means there could be a gap of 3 to 4 years of learning because the child would have forgotten. How do you bridge that gap? How do you
Yeah.
keep this child safe from himself and society, which allows or encourages cheating? I'm so sorry to say. A society which encourages cheating. I mean, as teachers, we got to make sure that we keep the children joys of learning, how to learn, how to find joy of learning rather than teaching them shortcuts. ये नहीं आता तो ये कर लेना, online exam हो तो ऐसे कर लेना या friend को phone कर लेना. Parents told me that our children were exchanging answers through WhatsApps. I said, what were you doing? You said, we had no control at that time because the kids said, we're writing an exam, must take purpose. And a parent told me that my kid says if there are 10 questions, 5 children collaborate, तो 2 question का आंसर लिख कर भेजना, तो 2 का. फर्स्ट ईयर में ऐसे किया बच्चों.
बिल्कुल.
फिर हमने सिस्टम ही चेंज कर दिया. हमने कहा इससे अच्छा है एमसीक्यू ले ले, 20 मिनट के अंदर 40 क्वेश्चन करो, एक्सचेंज करने का टाइम ही नहीं मिलेगा. Then we started with open book examination to beat this practice of taking help from friends. You have the book in front of you, copy as much as you want, take help. But the questions were different. If you didn't know the chapters, if you hadn't read them earlier, you will not be able to attempt them well.
Right.
So the open book exam was an experiment that we started, and I think the children loved it. But they also said open book exam alone is not going to give us marks. We have to be prepared for it. And now they've understood, at least most of them, but there are 20% children, 15 to 20% children in 12th specifically who are concerned about their theory because the theory and practice come together and there's so much going on in life. More than the school, they're more worried about which college will take them, whether university exam, whether JE will they crack, NEET, how much money will the parents spend, whether I'll get the correct college in abroad. Many of them got admissions abroad, but they're still in India because the flights restrictions are there, and they're not ready to go. But I would say that there had been many positives too. A lot of children learned how to learn themselves. They started presenting lessons in classes and online.
Yeah.
They started organizing. They started training children in various things. So those who grabbed the opportunity, learned to grab it, actually became bigger, stronger, wiser.
Yeah.
And I mean, this is what life is. You grab opportunities. For some, pandemic was an opportunity to discover themselves.
So true, Nita ma'am. Ma'am, your message to the students who would be writing their class 12th examination this year and then they will be, out of this school atmosphere and going to the higher
Perfectly asked this question just the right time. I was a teacher in Army Public School, Dwarka. I used to teach biology. There was a kid called Ajay. He scored just 7 out of 70 in biology in pre-boards. And I called him and I said, Ajay, I expect you to do better, not for myself, but for yourself. You deserve better marks. It's just that you did not pay attention to biology. The rest of the class did very well, even in pre-boards, and this boy did. I said, Ajay, I need a promise from you that you are going to discover yourself in the next 2 months. Control your other distractions and you will do well. My promise to you that you can do well and you can score about 75%. That's my target for you. And you can get it. You'll be surprised you got 93 in 2 months of preparation. So children remember the example of this boy, Ajay Mahajan. In 2 months, he could move from 7 to, I would say, 64 out of 70 in theory. Anything is possible. And that incident made me think that the board's books require 2 months of regular studies, just 2 months. अगर आपने जान लगा दी ना 2 महीने उस किताब को पढ़ने में, उससे ज्यादा नहीं चाहिए उसको समझने में. You just don't require more than 2 months. In fact, हम अपने बच्चों को इतना बोर कर देते हैं एक ही चैप्टर को पूरा 15 दिन पढ़ा कर, इसलिए बच्चे भागते पढ़ाई से. दूसरा, हम बच्चों को कहते नहीं ये तो तेरे को कुछ समझ में ही नहीं आना, हम तो अभी ट्यूशन भी लगाएंगे. मतलब with the class teacher, the subject teacher feels the child cannot understand unless I explain every word of the textbook or discuss in the class. Then on top of it, their parents were saying, नहीं तेरी टीचर भी अच्छा नहीं पढ़ा सकती तेरे को, हम ट्यूटर लगाएंगे. मतलब वो बुक जो 1 या 2 महीने में खत्म हो जानी चाहिए, उसके बाद बच्चा और एक्सप्लोर करे वर्ल्ड ऑफ नॉलेज, वो बच्चा पूरा साल हम अच्छे से पका देते हैं. Literally, the child starts hating the process of studying. I mean, you see any book. हमको ध्यान है जब हम छोटे बच्चे थे तो इंग्लिश हिंदी की सारी स्टोरीज हम समर वेकेशन में पढ़ डालते थे. और 1 हफ्ते में खत्म किताब. अच्छी इंटरेस्टिंग कहानियां सारी खत्म. थोड़ी बोरिंग वाली ध्यान लगाई तो और 10 दिन में खत्म. बुक्स खत्म हो जाती थी हमारी वेकेशन में. उसके बाद सारा साल मस्ती होती थी. पढ़ने की जरूरत ही नहीं पड़ती थी. So this is what I keep telling my children. You can complete your studies during vacation if you want. If you want, you can
Yeah.
finish it in May, June. और फिर पूरे साल क्लास में आप पढ़ाओ. टीचर सुने. आप खेलो, नई नई चीजें सीखो, नया नया काम करो. उसी किताब पे क्यों चिपके रहते हो? सो आई कीप टेलिंग द टीचर ओवर द चिल्ड्रन. 2 दिन में चैप्टर डिस्कशन और उसके बाद लेट द चिल्ड्रन organize things based on it, do things in class. So and
Yeah.
go beyond the book. Books are written for just average kids of the school who don't even go to school sometimes, or they are in a village school where there are not many teachers, or the subject specialist teachers. So the NCRT books are not very demanding. They are good, but they're not so demanding for a metro child who is going to a reasonably good school. Make
Yeah.
these kids understand कि 1.5 महीने में खत्म हो जाते हो. तो मेरा मैसेज इतनी लंबी कहानी का यही है कि अगर आपने अभी तक अच्छा नहीं किया तो 1 महीना है आपके पास. बस जुट जाओ. कर सकते हो, बिल्कुल कर सकते हो. अगर आपको लाना है नंबर तो आप ला सकते हो. आप लाना ही नहीं
बिल्कुल.
चाहते इसलिए. अगर आपने सोच ही लिया कि भगवान पास हो जाऊं तो बस आप उतने ही नंबर लाएंगे. आपने सोचा कि नहीं मैं तो 60% लेकर ही आने तो 60 क्या 65 आएंगे. जो आप
Right.
टारगेट बनाएंगे वही मिलेगा. जिंदगी में अपने सपने
Right.
से बढ़ के किसी को नहीं मिलता. सो हैव गुड ड्रीम्स, वर्क फॉर दोज ड्रीम्स. और
Absolutely.
रियलिस्टिक ड्रीम बनाना प्लीज. अगर अभी 2 नंबर पे हो तो 100 की उम्मीद मत लगाना. 2 पे हो तो आप 80 की लगा सकते हो और अब मिल जाएंगे आपको.
So true, so true. Nita ma'am, before I conclude my conversation today, your message to everybody who is watching us, right now live.
And those who are watching us, I'm sure, are here because they love children, or they are children, or they have children. Children are the biggest resource for mankind. They are future. When we talk about wars, we want ये wars नहीं हो अगर किसी एक इंसान. अभी वॉर क्यों हो रही है? अब देखिए वॉर इसलिए नहीं हो रही कि पूरा का पूरा रशिया यूक्रेन को हड़पना चाहता है. Maybe a handful of leaders, just a few leaders. Similarly, the world requires good leaders, and these kids are going to be the future leaders for our country, for the world. So let's give our families, our nation, our world nice citizens, future leaders who can take care of their lives, who can also contribute to the evolution of mankind and
Right.
of nature and sustainability of this world. Our children are there not for us. Believe me, this is also one myth that the parents have. मैंने तेरे लिए इतना किया, अब तू मेरे लिए क्या करेगा? नहीं, हमारे बच्चे जो आए हैं वो अपने लिए आए हैं. लाइफ लॉन्गिंग फॉर इटसेल्फ. उनको अपना जीवन जीने दे, उनको अच्छे संस्कार दे तो वो सबकी केयर करेंगे, इंक्लूडिंग देयर पेरेंट्स. पर उसके लिए आप खुद रोल मॉडल बने, अपने माँ बाप को पूरी इज्जत दे, तभी आपका बच्चा आपको इज्जत दे.
So true. Thank you so much, Nita ma'am, for coming live with me. And once again, I wish you a very, very happy Holi.
Thank you. And all the kids, we all love you. All teachers just love you unconditionally, and this teacher also loves you like that.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, everyone who watched us, and I wish you all a very, very happy Holi.
Happy Holi, and thank you so much. May God bless everyone. Bye bye.
Bye, ma'am. Take care.